Hello students, I just wanted to show you a lesson for square1art.com. We are doing a fundraiser at the school for the PTA, and the money raised will go back to support the school. Basically what Square One Art is you draw a piece of art and then your parents can take a photo of it and have it uploaded to the website. Once they do that, they can order your art on all sorts of things. You could order it on a mug, or on a keychain, or on a t-shirt, or on a mask, or on any number of items. And once you buy those items, the money will go back to support the school. So that's square1art.com. I'll explain more about this later. Today, we're going to do a palm tree drawing. So for my material I'm going to need are a pencil, a black marker, and either some watercolor paint or yellow, orange, and red, my warm colors, and also violet. And so this is going to be a nice color gradation going from yellow down to violet. So we're going to end up having a palm tree with a sunset in the background. So thing one is I'm going to start down here at the bottom corner with my pencil. So remember in art we always say draw light till you get it right. So go ahead and do that. So starting at the bottom corner here, I'm going to go up approximately 2 inches. And I'm going to make a little dot. This is going to help us create our island. On the other side, I'm going to go across approximately 1, 2, 3 inches across the bottom. Then I'm going to make a curved line that's going to connect my 2 dots. And this is going to become my island. Okay? And look at me, I didn't even manage to get to that dot, but that's okay. This is going to be our island. Now, what I want to do is I want to take my finger and I want to find approximately the center of my square. This is a 8.5 by an 8.5 square that they would have actually on the Square One paper, but if you're working from home, just get some copy paper or a thicker paper if you're going to be working with a marker. So anyway, I'm going to find the approximate center of the paper. I'm going to do a little dot there. Okay, so now we're going to create the trunk of our palm tree. So starting from that dot, I'm going to bring a curve that comes back to the island. So that's the first part of my palm tree. But I'm going to go over about another centimeter, and I want to create a line that's parallel to the first one. So another curved line going in the same direction. So here I go, curving a line down. And in just a little bit, we'll start turning this into our silhouette. Now, on our palm fronds, we're going to make anywhere between 6 to 8 or even 5 to 8 centers of our palm fronds. And the palm fronds are just the leaves of the palm tree. So right here between the 2 dots I just made, I'm going to make another dot where my palm fronds are going to land. So now one thing to think about as you are drawing today is about proportion. Proportion is an art word meaning length or size in comparison to size of another part of that object. That's pretty complicated, but proportion. Well, we know that if we make the palm fronds too short, it just doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as proportional because oftentimes palm trees have rather long palm fronds. So I'm going to make the lines I'm going to draw about 4 inches long. So I'm going to start by drawing a curved line going down like that. So 3, 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the dot, and I'm going to make another curved line that goes down, but is just slightly further away than the first line. So it's kind of like I'm making a curved triangle in a way. These lines are kind of forming a curved triangle. Okay? And by the way, if you need to pause this at all while you're working, go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go back here to the dot, and I am going to bring another curved line down. Okay? So I've got my 1, 2, 3 beginnings of my palm fronds. Okay? So then I'm going to do it on the other side as well. And I'm spacing them out again, so I'm going to do it again. Another one about 4-ish inches long. Then doing the same thing again, spacing them out, maybe about a good inch between each frond. And then I'm going to do another one down here. Okay? And I can even add another one at the top if I want to. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. All right. Now, additionally, if you would like to, you could add some circles to make coconuts in your tree. That's up to you. All right, so we'll start first with the palm fronds, then we'll go back in and contour and color and everything else so our palm tree is a silhouette. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through first with my marker, and I'm just very gently tracing over the lines I just made. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. Now, I wanted to explain something about the curved line. We're going to make some little curved lines going down going underneath each of these curved lines here. So these are going to become our little, it's going to add the texture of a palm tree. Now, the little lines we're going to be making are going to be like this, okay? They're going to curve in this direction. So this is the kind of direction they're going to curve in. So what I'm going to do, and the best thing that one of the students came up with, they said, oh, that looks like eyelashes. I said, you know what, that's a great describer. So we're going to create a bit of a broken line, and what I'm doing is I'm just curving these lines in. I'm starting right from that palm tree, and I'm just kind of starting right at the top and bringing a curved line in like this. Not making them too short. These are probably at least a ½ inch long or so. So I'm just curving them in, kind of feathering them in like long eyelashes. And so once I'm done with one, I'm going to go to my next palm frond, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Just kind of curving them in there. And then going down to my next one and curving it in. Okay? And then, again on this side. So on this side, I probably should have explained that. On the left side of the palm tree, I'm not going like this anymore. Now I'm bringing my curves in this direction. Okay, they're kind of curving to the left, whereas the ones on the right were curving to the right. Okay, so I'm just going to feather them in again. And then I'm going to go down to the next one. It's just a nice little curved broken line. It creates that kind of feathery texture that palm trees have. Yep. I'm just going to do it on each of my palm fronds. Okay, so what can I do now? Well, one thing I want to do is if I made those coconuts, I want to trace over them and color them in. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the trunk and the island. Okay, from there, I'm just going to color the trunk in, creating that nice silhouette of black. So this is just if you happened, kind of scene we're setting is if you happened to be near the water or on an island or something, and the sun was setting, if you were looking toward the sun, the palm tree might look like it's black because it's in silhouette. It's at the end of the day. Sometimes at the end of the day we see lots of things in shadow. By the way, the vocabulary for this work is high contrast. Contrast, let me write that word up here, contrast. Contrast, opposites. So in art, just like if you're doing a comparison and a contrast, contrast means finding opposites. Well, the way we're doing that here is with color. Our silhouette is very dark black. So that is the opposite of the bright colors we're going to use for the sunset. And that's going to create a lot of visual interest. So sometimes when we use contrast in our art, what we're doing is we're creating visual interest. Visual interest just means making your art interesting so the viewer will want to see it. Now in the next part, you can either use marker or watercolors. I'm choosing to go in with my watercolors, okay? But if you're not going to use the watercolors, you want to color in quite a large area for yellow. You'll see where the yellow is going to be once I put down the paints. Sorry about that, I just had to get some water from the sink. Okay, now I'm going to put my brush into the yellow first. So I'm just placing where the sun is going to be, and I want to keep it quite large. I will tell you guys, if you're working with the watercolor and you really want this to move along, and if you don't have a lot of time, use the side of your brush, okay? If you're using just the little teeny tiny tip of the watercolor brush, you're not going to cover too much area. So don't be afraid. In this part, put a lot of water on your brush and just get in there and paint a very large area of yellow. Okay, so now I'm going to go on with my orange. Now, one interesting thing here is I'm going to be creating some intermediate, or also we call them tertiary colors, by overlapping my orange a little bit on top of the yellow. So here I go, and I'm putting my orange on top of the yellow a little bit, just like that. Okay, and if I even want it to be a better gradation from one color to the next, I can put my brush back into the yellow and kind of paint over the orange a little bit. So I'm kind of trying to blend the colors. Okay? So now I'm going into orange, and I'm really getting in there, painting a good, let me see, the width of this circle is probably going to end up being about 3 to 4 inches, okay? Because if you don't make it wide enough, what's going to happen is you're going to get all the way to purple, but you won't be that far through the painting. So we want, see, the band of orange we're creating around is about 3 inches or so. Okay? So from there, I'm going to go into red, and now I'm going to add some red. And so you can see how this is starting to look like a beautiful sunset on a tropical island. Going to add some more red in there. And it's kind of neat too, as you go over the marker with the paint, it takes it away from being a flat black. It kind of deepens the color of the marker too. Okay, so now I'm going to, if red's here on my paint box, most paint boxes are the same as mine. If red is here on my paint box and I skip all the way down to brown and then I come back one, I am at violet. So then I'm going to add a little violet around the edge like this. Just kind of like where the sun is fading. Okay? So there we go. Now, if I want to, I can go back in and really dry my brush off with my fingers. And if I just use the tip of my brush for this next little bit, I can have some fun with it. I can really get a little painterly with it. If I take just the tip of my brush, I can go through and I can strike through with some little lines. It's kind of a little Van Gogh-esque maybe, okay? So I can do that. I can do the same with the red. I could squeeze the excess off my brush, and then I could go in with the red, into the red a little bit, just kind of dashing down some little lines kind of here and there. I could even kind of bring them a little bit into the orange if I wanted to. And then I could add some purple lines. This is not something you have to do, but if you feel like it's going to make your art look better, I say go ahead and do it. Now, if I go in the yellow here, maybe I'll go back into my sun and create some little concentric circles here and there, okay? So there we go. That is my beautiful sunset for Square One Art. Now, if you're really happy with your art, you or your parents can go to squareoneart.com, take a photo of your painting, and then in the upper right-hand corner on the Square One site, there's an upload button. You can upload the art and look for our school there. You should be able to find Twin Lakes Academy on the list, and after that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed doing this piece of art today. I had fun working with you. Have a wonderful day.